Hello, Vera Faria, Eros and Psyche myths and individuation tale for the conscious feminine part 2. We're speaking about these women, like in the myths of Psyche. They have to work hard within themselves, learning how to become good mother of themselves. It's quite a hard work, you know. Usually it involves therapy, a process of therapy, process of embodying the soul, coming home to themselves in their body soul, of course. In the tale Beauty and the Beast, the union between these two, it was somewhat easier, should I say, if I'm allowed to say so, regarding Psyche and Eros myths, because ego and shadow, personality and soul, feminine and unconscious masculine, all these pairs of so-called opposites are involved in these symbolic figures of the beauty and the beast. And here in that tale, in that fairy tale, the beauty starts rejecting the beast, the ugly beast that turns into a most beautiful prince with her love. So coming back to the Psyche myth, she starts marrying a beautiful god, which she cannot see. And how does she do it? When she is in the rock near the sea, expecting the sea monster to be ravished by that sea monster, Aphrodite, the goddess that I show here in the mythological tarot in the suit of cups. So the suit of cups is this wonderful tarot deck, the mythological one, is exactly the myth of Psyche and Eros. And so we have here Aphrodite has the initiatrix as the goddess from coming from the waters of the unconscious and uniting the waters with the heaven, and with the cups of the grail, which is, or the self, which is the process of becoming who we were meant to become, in that integrational process of being fully human and fully transpersonal as well, with the soul, with the paradise lost and regained. And here in the Two of Cups, so we had the Ace of Cups, and in the Two of Cups, we can see in this suit of cups, we can see Psyche chained in the rock by the ocean, expecting the monster, and then Eros, the god of love, son of Aphrodite, comes from the heavens with his arrows, and the two cups unite. So here what happens? Well, Aphrodite was in the backstage of all this drama, and of course in the myth she looks like the evil fairy goddess, or fairy mother, but she is the great initiatrix. She is the goddess that initiates Psyche in the process of individuation. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And so Psyche starts by marrying the beautiful god, because when she asked her son Eros, the god of love, to come and to shoot his arrow filled with love poison into the sea monster, so that in the exact moment he would place his eyes, he would see Psyche, he would just ravish her and of course kill her. But when he was preparing that potion, he accidentally cut himself with the tip of the arrow, and of course, immediately falls in love with Psyche. You know, a non-human woman is ravished by a god. It makes sense. They marry and live happy in his heaven's palace. So we have here the Three of Cups. We have here Three of Cups and the marriage with the mermaids, honoring this wonderful marriage, which is, it occurs by night, but we have the sun, which is very interesting. The sun symbolizing consciousness, the light of consciousness. So it means that it will be quite an adventure, this adventure of love. When we fall in love, we are God and goddess to each other. And we live in the heavens delight for a while. So they went to the palace in the heavens, and they were happy for a while. But life wants itself complete, right? And has life wants itself complete, not perfect. The shadow finally enters the stage. And Psyche was exchanging, and meanwhile, was exchanging messages with her sisters, and she started to missing them a lot, and they were finally allowed to visit her at the palace. They got to know that Psyche were not allowed to see her god husband. It was the only condition he placed on their marital vows. They grew painfully jealous of Psyche's life as a goddess in a most magical, abundant, and beautiful palace. And the plot terminated, and they instigated fear and doubt on Psyche's heart. He can be a monster ready to kill you at any moment. So you should be careful. You must see who he really is. They insisted. Jealousy, envy, fear, so often buried inside and flourishing in the shadow, came to do their part and to stimulate Psyche to go forward in her self-knowledge process. So she had two initiators in consciousness, Goddess Aphrodite and the shadow, or maybe only one, the goddess using darkness to teach what love is. So also Eros, of course, a wonderful initiator in this process, has an invisible lover. He symbolized blind passion. So we can see here in the Four of Suits, in a beautiful deck of the suits in the mythological tarot, we can see the sisters whispering poisonous doubt into Psyche's ears. The Four of Suits in this suit. So love isn't blind. So we have a lover, a husband, which the only condition he placed for them to live happy ever after was that she was never been able to see him. He was an invisible lover. He symbolized blind passion. But as love isn't blind, on the contrary, passion is blind, love not. Love has a consciousness status is higher, the most awakened, truly seeing we are. So Eros repudiated Psyche, that broke her vows with him, because she came in the night when he was asleep in their bed, and with a lamp, a very old lamp that used still very hot oil. She opened the lamp, she lightened the candle, and she saw him in his glorious beauty. He must have been a wonderful man, of course, the god of love. And so he woke up and he saw the treason. And passion ends when we are forced to retrieve the projection of God and goddesses we make in our lovers. And this takes normally up to 2 years because the human body could not take or handle more of heart palpitations without consequences more than 2 years. So when the blindness ceases and we begin to see the other for who it is, he or she, their human flaws and essence, well, some run away and look for another lover. Some dare to take the road of trials to regain the lost love, the lost paradise, as Psyche did when her impossible tasks began. It was the beginning of the process of rediscovering love. And here we see the furious god, Eros, god of love, running away from Psyche. You will never see me again. And she was miserable. She was so miserable. She wanted to die, you know, she wanted to die because she lost her beloved. She lost the beloved. What would you do? What would you do? She went into a rock and she was meditating in the Six of Cups card. So she was meditating after the loss. She was meditating. She was hopeless. She was powerless. She was, well, in her knees. She was starting the night side of the dark side. Oh, I'm so sorry. The dark night of the soul. Psyche, which also means soul, of course. So what would you do? Dealing with this reality is a maturing process. Better than living always in Neverland with Peter Pan and the Lost Boys, lost for consciousness and a functional, responsible, grown-up life. Some choose that. Some people choose the Neverland. Good luck. It's a way to hell, I would say. And how can we really say without idealization that we love a person we still don't know, we still don't see, like Psyche? How could Psyche really love that she couldn't see, that she couldn't yet see? Mature love grows through the knowing and dealing with the other's shadow, shortages and vulnerabilities. If the other has sufficient human quality to be in our lives, then we must show the courage to face their darker sides along the way. The love story between the beauty and the beast transforms both by the courage to face their demons. By accepting their human positive and negative traits, they can integrate them into a most lucid, conscious, and wholesome identity. And this is truly remarkable and really beautiful, this inner union and the alchemist, that the alchemist calls the opus, the work, the sacred work. So this is to be continued. We stood in the Six of Suits, and it is to be continued. Okay, so until we meet again in part 3. Bye bye. Thank you.